Hey everyone, welcome to the Civilization 5 Military Academy. We are your hosts, Bibor,
Hello, everyone.
and myself, Madjin. And we're going to bring you a game by hellgoat that was handed to us on the Civ Fanatics forums. He seems to have gotten himself in a bit of a pickle here. He's got a runaway Civ that's out teching him. He's got a lot of other civs that don't like him, and he's trying to figure out how to pull himself out of that hole that he's basically dug himself into. So hopefully we can help him out with that today. He didn't necessarily say what condition he was going for, so we're just gonna kind of play it by ear on that front. He's playing Siam. He's on a Pangea map, standard size, on King, and on standard as well. So that's the setup. So Bieber, what do you think?
Well, looking at the map, I can see that he was pretty aggressive in the early game. He took out Mongolia, he took out Germany, and he expanded quite a lot. But unfortunately, as you said, there is a runaway Civ, the Greeks, as usual, which is giving him headaches. So, generally speaking, on its own, his civilization looks fine. Maybe a little bit scouting is an issue. Maybe he should scout some more. But overall, he is in a solid position, except that he is dealing with a really powerful runaway Civ that is going to give him troubles on the long run.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So first things first, social policies. Obviously, he went for the meritocracy leap to longswords, I believe, or at least he went through meritocracy for that free great person. Given that he has longswords and everything else, has a good bet. Given that he took 2 out, he's got 1 point in honor. So I have a feeling he was going to start filling in the honor policies at this point. Which is not necessarily a bad idea given that he's got a runaway Civ that he's going to have to take a hand on very firmly and guide it away from being a runaway Civ very quickly. Looking over at the tech tree though, we can see he's actually teching quite well. He's 2 turns off of chemistry, and he did have some trebuchets out there, so he can upgrade them. He doesn't have compass yet, but that's fine since he's on Pangea. It doesn't matter. It looks like he's blocked off acoustics down to 1 turn left, and he still has banking and printer press open. So I think he's kind of okay here. He does have a research agreement coming with the French, and he's got a great scientist coming out of one of his watts. So both of those are happening relatively soon. And that can help him get up here towards rifling to boost up his longswords. So that's pretty much where he's at with everything else. I mean, quickly looking at his cities, he's not quite managing every city, but we can see that, say, Berlin, he's got on production focus, which is a good start, and he's building up some coliseums. He's also got in, where are we? Sukhothai. He's got both great scientist slots filled in the Watt, and that's definitely going to give him the great scientist in the next little bit. But otherwise, he needs a little bit more focus, but he is at least building out coliseums to help with his happiness, which is going to be somewhat important fairly soon as he gets in trouble. So he also has this little bit of military down here by Old Sari and Hizia, and that's about it for what he's got. Obviously, that was the end of the Mongol Empire. But so Bibor, let's talk about that runaway Civ.
Do we have to talk about it? I mean,
I
okay,
think
so
that's the elephant
yes.
in the room.
Well, in a nutshell, Greece Alexander has 222 gold per turn, has a bank account of 5,300 gold, and has 13 civs, city-states under his belt.
Not to mention cities.
And not to mention cities, a lot of cities, and he's building more and more cities even now. So that's a really annoying runaway Civ. I mean, he's just aiming for the UN victory right now, and he seems unstoppable.
Yeah, if you look over at demographics, Alex is already up at 50% of the tree, far and above the average, and definitely 11% above hellgoat here.
Indeed, that's how many techs? 11 or something like 8? 8, 11?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
So he's far ahead. I think he's basically done with the Renaissance techs. He's maybe a few turns away from the industrial era already. So taking into account that there are no real other AIs that are going to match Alex's supremacy in this game. So there is no real competition. I would say that this one will be dealt with in the old-fashioned way.
Very likely. And as you see here in the Global Politics Overview, Alex went Liberty for Patronage 2. Now it says 2, but that actually means 3, because the counter doesn't count the basic, the base level of the tree, which means Alex has been using scholasticism here. He's got 13 allies, each giving him 1/3 of their total science produced. That's exactly why Alex has the tech lead at this moment.
Indeed, that's 13 allies. That's like having four extra cities up to his already 13 cities. So that's really nasty. And if he's not dealt with now, he's just going to go further and further ahead.
Exactly. Though this is king, so that's less of a problem than you would think. If you take the steps right this moment to deal with it. So how do we deal with that runaway Civ?
Well, you're the deity player who conquered Greece at least once. So what's your suggestion?
Kill him now.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but I would actually pull from the Mongol plan on this one and say go wipe out his city-states. All of his allies, wipe them out. That's where he's getting a lot of science. He's getting units, he's getting food, he's getting culture. Even though this is king, Alex might not spend all of that money to upgrade his own units, even if he's got the techs for it. But all the military city-states will hand him upgraded units, so he won't get stuck with poor units. He'll get stuck with the new ones, which means that he can easily start getting advanced units ahead of you just from all of those military civs, and that'll be a really big problem for you.
Okay, so if he deals with the city-states, let's say he conquers a few, then what?
Oh, it's not a few. He's got to wipe. Looking at the victory conditions, the victory progress, not cultural, oops. Looking at the victory progress, out of only needing 10 diplomatic votes to win, Alex has already got 13. So you're going to pretty much have to boot stomp at least 10 of those.
Ouch, that's a lot.
It is a lot. I wouldn't necessarily go after Rio and Copenhagen until you can get a secondary army. They're not really a problem. But Almaty here, right beside your military, and as you'll see a little bit later, there are a string of military civs in this cloud, as well as another one right over here beside Moyang Salong. You need to just tear them down and just keep going, and eventually start getting into Alex's own territory.
Unfortunately, I think he's not going to have much help from the other AIs because he made a bit of a well, he made a critical mistake. He declared friendship on Alex, and then he immediately declared war on him, and that brings a huge diplomatic penalty.
Oh, it does. Every single one of them don't like him for it. Augustus Caesar says he's friendly, but he really doesn't like it. He's still mad. So, how to start running over all those city-states? Well, you are playing Siam. Elephants. Elephants work. Elephants are strong.
Elephants are big.
Yes. Elephants, the Siamese elephants can seriously run over almost anything up to industrial units fairly well. They're 22 strength, they've got plus 50% versus mounted, and they only came at chivalry, and he's got none. Sure, there's a little penalty versus cities, but that's not really a problem when you get 4 or 5 of them surrounding a city.
Indeed, the benefit of having a high base strength is that it scales so well with all the percentage bonuses like great generals, social policies, and so on.
Exactly. And speaking about that social policy, given the situation he's in, I think we're kind of agreed discipline should be the next policy, because he's about to get into a really big fight, and that extra 10% on high base combat strength is going to keep his units alive just that little bit longer. And one of those other things about the elephants that seems to have been totally forgotten, they don't require horses.
Indeed, I mean, it looks obvious, but hey, in civilization games, sometimes these things are a bit messed up. But yes, in this case, they really do not need horses to be built, so he can just spam them all the way.
Yep, exactly. But speaking of spamming, I would also spam Watts in whatever cities he can, and then promptly fill them with both scientists. Just to ensure that he can get a supply of great scientists coming, because he's not really going to get a chance to do research agreements again.
Yeah. Okay, so we now said things about how to do this, but realistically speaking, this is a very, very tough situation to be in. Even if it's only king difficulty, still Greece is so far ahead that it's going to be really difficult to actually win this. So why don't we just show how it can be done?
Ah, that's a good idea. We haven't done that yet.
No, we didn't.
So, okay. So following this sign-off that we're about to do, you'll get to see a bit of a clip show of me playing through this game and showing how to get yourself into a slightly better position. This won't be a full playthrough that you'll see. You'll just see clips and pieces of key moments. But what you will see is little markers to show you, what you can do with what you already have.
Yep, that's it for today. After you watch this video, please check out the comment below this video, because the mail address onto which you can send your saved games will be there, as well as some additional information about how and what to write down about your save. And we are doing this every week, so your save game will definitely be featured in this series. And well, I hope you enjoyed it again, and see you next time.
Yep. Great. So don't forget, elephants, elephants, elephants. Go play Stampy.
Yep.
This is Magician signing off. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye bye.